Hello, so my name's Dr. Judie Gannon, and I'm a researcher and lecturer in the International Centre for Coaching and Mentoring Studies at Oxford Brookes University, and I also developed the Stamina Mentoring Network. My presentation today gives you a taste of some research I've been doing about formal mentoring programs. And in particular, I'll be focusing on unsung heroes. What do mentoring scheme coordinators do, and what developmental needs do they have? This research is particularly important to me because I support an awful lot of mentoring program coordinators, managers or directors, whatever you like to call them, and I was one myself for a very long time as well. So I came to this research because I was really fascinated in the shift in terms of mentoring research from a focus on the dyad, from the mentor and the mentee, or the mentor and the protege, to looking at informal mentoring relationships, to formal mentoring relationships, and then much more of a focus onto mentoring programs or schemes themselves. There's actually quite limited empirical research on the people who run mentoring programs though, and because of this, I started to look around for research and found some work by Penny Abbott and colleagues that took place in South Africa in 2009. The work was published in 2010. And I followed on Penny's work, developing a similar methodology. So it's a mixed methods approach that I take. We looked for a sample of mentoring programs across a variety of sectors, 12 sectors in the UK and Europe. We developed quite an extensive questionnaire that we distributed through SurveyMonkey, and then we followed up with interviews, and we've done 30 in-depth interviews, plus we have continued to do interviews over the last 12 months. So the research that was generated, the data that was generated, led to us developing this research report, Many Things to Many People, Formal Mentoring Schemes and Their Management, in 2019. And there's 3 Ps that kind of make up the basis for this report. We looked at the purpose of mentoring schemes, the practicalities, actually how are they run. And what I want to focus on in this presentation in particular is the people. Who are those unsung heroes? And when we drill down into these unsung heroes, the research report and the actual survey data and the interviews tells us much more about the backgrounds of mentoring scheme coordinators, how they became involved in those mentoring programs. So what was their calling to that particular cause or purpose around mentoring? Had they been a mentor or mentee related to that scheme beforehand? We also look much more at the tasks that they do to fulfill their mentoring scheme coordination roles and how they juggle all the different aspects, from being highly strategic in some cases to having to fulfill very practical roles and even relationship counselling support roles as part of that task. We look at the skills they say they use and the ones they want to develop, and the research also taps into the challenges that they face and the satisfactions that they get from being a mentoring program coordinator. And what I'm really keen to do is maintain the momentum in this area of research. And I'll be sharing with you a little bit more about the COVID era challenges that mentoring program coordinators have faced in the last 9 months. We'll also say a little bit more about the juggle that mentoring scheme coordinators face. The research identified that while it's a very fulfilling role, it can be also very isolating because you're supporting everybody else, nurturing mentoring relationships, keeping mentors happy and mentees happy, and supporting various other stakeholders. But mentoring scheme this meant that mentoring scheme coordinators often felt quite isolated in their own roles. So how can we actually address this and support mentoring program coordinators? So I'm really keen to build the research base in relation to this topic, and I'm looking at developing a biennial survey so we can look at how mentoring schemes are managed and how mentoring program coordinators are supported. And you can contact me through my email address. And I look forward to meeting and talking to others who are involved in mentoring research as part of the summit